Okay, I think it's working. Let me make sure my AirPods are in. Perfect. We got her going. I'll give it a couple minutes and we will start live at 6 o'clock. We are doing a little something different on this live. Ryan was going to be a guest tonight, but he is not feeling good. He has a headache, so he's laying down. So we are going to start off by cooking dinner together. And hopefully by the time I get to the sauce that Ryan needs to make, he'll be able to come out here and have that, a little bit of a talk with us that we were hoping to get to tonight. But we will start right at 6 o'clock, go into the Sunday stories, and we were going to continue this every Sunday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, sharing stories from other people who have gone on different journeys, whether it's weight loss surgery, whether it's medication, whether it's diet and exercise, or if you haven't even started yet and you have questions, tune in every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. My name is Cecilia. I'm here with the Weight Room, and we are going to talk about my story tonight. We have a couple minutes before we get started, and I will tell you all about dinner tonight. We're going to make air fried salmon. We make a garlic white cream sauce. We use heavy whipping cream. We put Parmesan cheese in it. We put white pepper, garlic. It's delicious. Then we roast a bag of little golden potatoes, and I air fry some green beans. That's one of our staple meals that we've been having usually on a weekly basis. That has helped me lose weight, and Ryan has lost 25 pounds without even being on a medication like I am. So we're going to talk about all of that right at 6 o'clock. Thanks for tuning in. And if you can't stay for the whole segment tonight, no worries. This is going to be recorded and it'll be live and streaming, or it'll be streamed on YouTube, which is linked in my bio as well. If you ever want to replay any of these Sunday stories, right there in my bio is our YouTube channel. We're going to post all of those as soon as we're done with the segment. So hopefully you can tune in each week at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. If not, you can catch the replays. Let me grab a couple things to be able to get dinner started. I'm a big fan of quick and easy things, so I hope you guys enjoy this dinner tonight. It doesn't take too long. The longest thing that it takes to make is the white cream sauce, and everything is pretty low carb. The only thing that's high in carbs would be the potatoes, but if you eat them in moderation, it's a vegetable. It's not going to hurt you. And the white cream sauce, if you guys can see this, it only has one carb in it. One carb. The rest is just seasoning. So we love it. Once it gets thickened and you add the flavoring to it, it's so good. We put it on salmon. We put it on our potatoes. We put it on our filet mignon. It's our go-to sauce. So we have 2 minutes before we'll get started. And tonight we are just talking about my story, how I got to this point, how I started a weight loss medication, and what my journey has looked like. Ryan will be attending at some point. He has a headache, so he's laying down. But he makes the white cream sauce. I'll get it all started. So hopefully by the time we get to that part where we need him to come make this white sauce, he'll be able to join us for a couple minutes and talk with us. All right. This is a seasoning that I use on my salmon. It's delicious. So yummy. Got 1 more minute and we will go start this Sunday Stories edition. Just get everything prepped and ready to go. I'm a big person on easy stuff, so I'll make sure you guys can see everything. If you guys have questions along the way, please do not hesitate to stop and ask. And it's 6 o'clock. We'll get started. My name is Cecilia. I'm here with the Weight Room, and on every Sunday moving forward, we're going to stop at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time and talk about our different journeys. This week is the first edition of the series that we created, and we're going to talk about my story. Moving forward, if you would love to be a guest here on The Weight Room, there is a link right in my bio. Hey, how are you? If you would like to tell your story here on my Sunday Stories, there's a link right in my bio. It's the first thing that pops up once you hit the link, and it says, be my guest. You get to pick any Sunday that you want to attend. Right now, I have all of the Januaries listed, so you can pick from there. And I would love for you to share your story with me. The reason I'm doing this is I would love to hear and educate myself on the different struggles that we've all faced. Oh, yay. So excited, Chrissy. I did see that. So exciting. I'm happy to have you on. And I just really want to educate myself and learn about the different struggles that you guys have faced. And maybe it will help other people on their journey if they haven't started, or if they're already on a journey and they're having similar issues, whether it's with their doctor, whether it's with the medication, whether it's with the pharmacy. Hopefully we can help each other out based on the stories that we share. Let me grab my avocado spray. This is the only spray we use in my house, the only oil. We only use this. Don't have anything else. I do have olive oil, but we hardly ever use it. All right. So let's get into it. My name is Cecilia. I am 35 years old, and I have struggled with my weight for over 10 years. Now that I've looked back at things and like really evaluated my medical history, traumatic events in my life, things like that have happened. It's probably closer to 12 to 13 years that I've been gaining weight rather than 10, but 10 is my benchmark. And I've just been struggling. About that same time, I had my gallbladder removed. Now, I don't know if there are any correlations to having my gallbladder out and my weight gain, but that's about the same time that everything started happening. I started gaining weight. At that point in time, I was 190 pounds when I had my gallbladder taken out, and I had no real concerns with my weight at that point. Now, fast forward to now, in the last 12, 13 years that's been, I have faced so many health problems, whether it's chronic back pain. I broke my back, chronic back pain with that, digestive issues, chronic migraines, food allergies, asthma, the list goes on and on, PCOS. I've just struggled with several different ailments. And when I bring up my weight to my doctor, no doctor ever seemed concerned. Hey, how are you? I have heard of the Feel Great system. I can touch on that later in the segment. I actually do use that as well. So we'll touch on that as soon as I wrap my little piece up. So, no doctor ever really looked at me like it was a concern about my weight. But to me, it was always a concern because I put on weight very rapidly. I was 190 pounds when I was about 23, 24 years old. Now I'm 35, and when I started this journey, I was 277 pounds. So that's a good almost 100 pounds that I put on, 90 to 100 pounds that I put on. And no doctor ever stopped to help me. I constantly asked for help. I constantly had been sent to dietitians. I had even asked about weight loss surgery, and I know I had went through the consulting a couple different times, and I never met the criteria of being, it wasn't that I wasn't heavy enough, but I had other health conditions that were a concern, which was my asthma. So I was never able to go through a weight loss surgery. I think I went through the consulting and everything twice. Now, weight loss surgery was more prevalent to me, and I thought that was a solution to me because my mom had weight loss surgery. So I never knew that there was like real, true weight loss medication. If you are brand new here, again, my name is Cecilia. I am on a journey to regain my health. and I have been taking a weight loss medication. And this Sunday, I'm sharing that with you. So a little backstory if you are brand new here. So I did not know that there were weight loss medications out there in the world. I did not know that there was other options besides weight loss surgery, diet, and exercise. I didn't know any of that. This year, after talking to my doctors, every time I was there, concerned about my weight, concerned about another health condition, concerned about migraines, concerned about my digestive system, at no point did a doctor ever point me in a direction of how this would or could be corrected, or that it could be a problem with my metabolic makeup. And I'll touch on that in a minute as well. So here's my salmon. I know it's all over the place tonight. So here's my salmon. This is the seasoning that I use. So my salmon is prepped. Now let's prep our green beans. And we'll prep our potatoes as well. So, hey Tris, how are you? Oh, hey. So going back through and looking at everything, for several years, my white blood count had been extremely high. And I'm the one that had to bring it up to my doctor nearly every time we looked at the test results. She never seemed concerned, but I know white blood cell counts means high inflammation or infection. And that's not necessarily a good thing. So for the last 5 years for sure, 10 years it's been going on, but for 5 years for sure, I've been saying something to this doctor. Just this past January, so a year ago, my blood work, the numbers had jumped so much year over year. It usually doubles. This year it was like times 5. So I was sent to a cancer specialist, a hematologist, and I was monitored and tested all of pretty much 6 months of 2022 for leukemia. So we tested it, we ran markers, we did everything we can to see if I had leukemia, because that's usually high inflammation markers. Let's see, that's out. High inflammation markers like that, okay, are signs of leukemia. So not to worry anybody, talk with your doctor if that's what you're going through, but that's how high mine were, which were signs of. So, after doing all that testing and monitoring and, observing, trying to figure out what's wrong, we still have not came to an answer, a diagnosis, which is even more frustrating. I don't like being undiagnosed. So as we were doing this testing, this was all over last year, I was doing more research, educating myself on other things that can cause high white blood counts. And I came across the Weight Docs TikTok channel, and she had been talking about these GLP medications and how it's helping correct insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is a sign of inflammation. I tried to connect the dots and on my own with the inflammation and my high white blood counts. I thought maybe, just maybe this is the problem. Insulin resistance is in relation to obesity. It can lead to type 2 diabetes. It all had some sort of connection, and I thought that was my golden answer. So I did some more research. I continued to watch the Weight Doc on TikTok, and that was all June, July period. And then I started Mounjaro on August 10th of 2022. My hopes for starting this medication was to lower my white blood cell count, to help this risk or whatever this is, and help me get answers to why my white blood cell counts were so high, and to kind of eliminate the thought that this may be something more, such as leukemia or a blood cancer or a cancer of the blood, or something like that, a blood disorder. I don't know what it is, but that was my hopes to try to correct it. Now, unfortunately, yeah, so Unfortunately, like no doctor had pointed me in this direction. This was all my research, me trying to connect the dots, me trying to find a relation between insulin resistance and inflammation, and how inflammation or white blood cell counts, high white blood cell counts relates to inflammation. That was all my doing. No doctor pointed me that way. I started the medication on my own and the journey on my own. I really wished we would have had better results with my blood work just recently, but unfortunately we didn't. So we are still moving forward, trying to figure out what's wrong. And this Friday, I go for a bone marrow biopsy. Now, all of that was just like a big snippet of what's going on. But since I started my journey, so many other things have improved. I have lost 65 pounds in 5 months. 65 pounds in 5 months. I feel so much better. In losing all of this weight so far, I have now realized all the things that I was complaining about, my headaches, my body aches, my digestive problems, my stomach pain. It was all connected to uncontrolled glucose levels, eating foods that I was allergic to. I just found out last year that I'm highly allergic to like a whole shit ton of foods. And then being able to correcting that has allowed my body to actually use the digestive system the way it's supposed to. Because before, I was going to the bathroom having bowel movements once or twice a week. Now I'm going all the time, and not like out of control or anything, but like regular, like we're supposed to. And I know there's other people out there that are struggling, or have struggled and have different issues like this. And hopefully we can connect on some sort of basis here today, as I share my story. Thank you so much. So things are improving. I am, thank you so much. I am proud of the weight loss. I am proud that some of my blood work improved. I am proud that I have my glucose levels under control now. But now, as we move forward, as we do this bone marrow biopsy, now we have to figure out what is truly causing this issue. What I'm hoping is that we find that it may be an autoimmune disorder that I've never been tested for, or it could be a hereditary trait that they were not able to find before. I have no real connection in the sense of my mom doesn't have an issue. We don't know if my dad has an issue. So there's really not a way we can determine if this is a hereditary trait beforehand. So hopefully we'll get answers after we have this done on Friday. Yes, so here's another catcher. I talked about it earlier today in my live. My mom has had thyroid cancer and she's had her thyroid removed. My brother has diabetes. I believe he's a type 1 diabetic because his pancreas stopped working. I don't think he is a type 2. I believe he is a type 1. His pancreas literally just stopped working. And he has to give himself insulin and all that. And then on my dad's side of the family, tons of them have diabetes. My dad does not have diabetes though, but that's the backstory. What I just talked about here earlier today is I have never had my A1C tested. I always trusted that my doctors were running the correct tests necessary to figure out what is going on with me. And as I have looked back, the network of doctors that I have, I've been with them nearly my entire life. It's pretty much the only network of doctors here in my area. So I don't have psoriasis. So I know that's not it. So I was able to go back into my blood work that has been processed since 2007. I went all the way back to 2007. I do not see an A1C test on any of those blood works. Now, is there a chance that it's labeled as something else? Maybe. But I've looked for hemoglobin A1C and it is not there on any single test. That is very frustrating for me. Because this is why it's frustrating. They have done glucose levels. My glucose is on every single one of those tests. my glucose levels have been high for the last 10 years. Um, so, I was talking earlier today. I don't know if there's a way to go have somebody else look back through my blood work and see, was I pre-diabetic? Was I type 2 diabetic? Is that really why this medication is truly working so great for me? And like all those things that I was struggling with are like disappearing. My stomach issues are disappearing. My headaches are disappearing. Um, my mood is improved. And I know it's all due to the controlled glucose levels. I know that's the relationship right there. But I need to have somebody help me determine, by this blood work that I've had over since 2007, was there something going on that caused all these other issues? Uh, Dominant, yeah. So that's really what has been bothering me recently is, did I have some metabolic issue? Um, or is it something else? I'm tired of it being something else, but it may be. So that's what we're working on. Um, I enjoy this medication. This medication has helped me tremendously. But what I really hope that you all can take from this is understanding what the medication actually does and how it works for diabetics, because there is a relationship there with obesity. I know this may sound different from what you see on many other creators' pages, or even on content that's shared about Mounjaro for weight loss. Once you understand how it is working for diabetics, then you can understand the relationship between insulin resistance and obesity and why these medications work. Um, I had no idea. I had no idea that I needed to even be worried about my blood sugar, because to me, I wasn't diabetic. Why would I worry about that? I didn't think I needed to worry about my fiber intake, because why would I do that? I'm not old. I don't need to add fiber to my food. I didn't know any of this. So that's why I share it with you guys now. So I've given you a little backstory. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop them below. Now what I'm going to go into is how I've really controlled my glucose levels and different foods that we're eating. Tonight we're making salmon. I've got my potatoes here. Let's go ahead and season them and get them in the oven. I guess I should probably turn the oven on, huh? Let's get these bad boys going. It takes a while for these to cook, so it's going to take 6 minutes to preheat. So once I learned, we have to praise. Let's stop for a moment. Let's praise, at least in my situation, the dietitian that I met with. I went through Alpha Health to get my Mounjaro. It is a telehealth service, and they were able to put me in touch with a dietitian. I was not thrilled about seeing a dietitian because I've seen him before, and I don't feel like it ever really went well for me. I feel like they just told me the same thing. Eat less, exercise more. Now, they aren't wrong when they tell you that. They just don't tell you what you should eat and what kind of movement to have. And honestly, any movement is good movement. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You can go for a walk. You could do errands for the day. You could walk around Costco for the day. It doesn't matter as long as you're moving. That's what I found out. So now this dietitian, she took the time to ask me what my relationship with food looked like, how I felt after I ate, and what that looked like. And I am so grateful because she listened to what I was feeling after every single meal and was instantly able to say, it's something with your glucose levels. I felt like there was something wrong with me. I could go out and eat or be at home and eat, and 30 minutes after I eat, I'd be starving again. Now I'm talking about like, it's like I didn't feel like I even ate anything at dinner or lunch, and I would be so hungry again. Come to find out, I wasn't eating enough fiber or protein to fill myself up for fuel. I was eating too high of a carb intake, which that makes sense. I was eating too high of a carb intake, so I was having a high, like a carb high, and I was just crashing. And when you crash, you crave food again. So the highs and lows of your blood sugars, when they're very high or very low, those are what causes food seeking behavior. And that was the biggest eye opener for me. When she told me that once your glucose levels are controlled, you're not going to feel that urge to go look in the kitchen cabinet for something to snack on. You're not going to feel like you need to grab a soda to make that rumbling disappear. You're not going to go snack on a bag of chips because you're bored. All that food noise that we talk about a lot here on in the Mounjaro world or any of these GLP medication worlds, it disappears because your glucose levels are controlled. Um, yes. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, so fiber is what helps absorb the carbs if you are eating carbs. It's okay to eat carbs. That's not the problem. You want to just have a well-balanced meal so it's carbs, protein, and fiber, and you want to bulk it with the protein. And then you can have the carbs and then you coat it with the fiber, meaning that your fiber intake should be higher than your carbs. Once you learn that little mathematic like hack, you can eat whatever you want. You just have to do it in moderation and be conscious. Um, it's all a balancing game. If you don't give your body enough protein, it doesn't have enough fuel to even burn the fat that you need to burn. And once you give your body that, everything starts working. I kind of call it like how, if you think of keto, if you think about how you can get into ketosis, I call this like that ketosis, that happy spot. Uh, oh yeah, I love my fiber supplement. It is amazing. I use it more on the meals that I know, like my spaghetti night. I use it frequently, but like tonight, I have salmon, I have green beans, I have this white cream sauce. I don't need to fill up on fiber. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and put this in the oven. Potatoes are going in. We'll get this green beans loaded up. So what we've done is just focus on protein, fiber, and that's about it. Like we can have whatever carbs we want. Like tonight, this has one carb in it. I wasn't even thinking about how many carbs are in here. I was just eating it because I know I'm getting a lot of nutrients from my salmon, which is over here. We're getting fiber from our green beans, which are over here. And it's a healthy meal. Cutting out all those processed carbs is really where it's at. See if we can get all these in here. Good enough. Here we go. Now I just salt and pepper these. Yeah, so I've definitely noticed that over the last 5 months. When I eat things that I'm not supposed to eat or shouldn't eat, I get headaches. But I definitely find it easier to pick out meals when we go out. Like we went to Mexican last night. One second. We went out to Mexican last night and I didn't order any tacos. I didn't order I mean, I did have some chips and cheese and it was great. But I ordered this big pineapple that was full of chicken, peppers, and pineapple, and it was so good. And I was like, oh my gosh, I would have never ordered this before. And having a little chips and cheese, it wasn't like killing me. I was uh audio is out. No. Is that better? I'll just take these out. Is that better, guys? Okay. All right. So when we were out last night, having that chicken and pineapple, like I would have never bought that before, and it was so good. So I'm even making healthier choices when I'm put into situations where I could indulge, and I don't. Like I felt good like having a little chips and cheese. I probably went over a little bit on the chips and cheese, but my glucose never went like over 110. Now 100 is a little higher for what my normal is, but considering that was chips and cheese, it was at a restaurant where I'm not making the food. It didn't go crazy. It could have, but it didn't. And the pineapple, I know the sugar from the pineapple probably was involved too, but yeah, I just feel like I'm more in control. And I wish you guys would know me before this journey, like I'm a big control freak. Like I have issues. I'm not proud of that, but I have issues with controlling. Like I get severe anxiety when I'm not in control, and I feel so much more in control now that I can control how I'm going to feel for the day. I can control if I'm going to have a headache today or not. I can control like how my digestive system, it just feels so empowering to be in control of like feeling good, because I felt so shitty for so long. I'm telling you guys, I felt shitty for so long. Me and Ryan have only been together, we've been together 7 years. In those 7 years, I was constantly saying I didn't feel good, I was sick, but most of all, I constantly said I didn't feel good. I mean, I get a headache and everything every once in a while, but that's because my glucose levels will dip a little bit, but I don't feel shitty anymore. It's a great feeling, and that's why I love to share my story with you guys and like to let you in on what's going on. If you are just popping on, I'm cooking dinner. We are making salmon, a white garlic cream sauce. Cannot get this open. Green beans and potatoes. There we go. This is part of a Sunday series that we have created. Today is the first series of sharing our stories. Now, I am sharing my story as the kickoff to the series, but moving forward, I invite you guys to be a guest here on The Weight Room. There's a link to sign up. It says be my guest right in my bio when you click the link, and I would love for you guys to come on here and share your stories with me. Oh, I'm so happy for you. This is the garlic cream sauce. We just put a whole carton of heavy whipping cream in here, and we churn it on medium heat and let it reduce, and then we will add all the different things to it. So I'm not doing anything, I know you're asking somebody else, but I'm not doing anything crazy except being on Mounjaro, of course, and then just eating to control my glucose levels. I know that sounds like it can be crazy for some people, but once you understand what is going on in your body, I see a lot of people who are on Mounjaro saying that they struggle with side effects and they struggle with headaches still, or struggle with nausea. A lot of that has to do with your body is trying to reduce your glucose levels. It's trying to control those glucose levels, and if you continue to give your body what it doesn't want, that's when you're going to continue to feel bad. I'm not saying that that's everybody's issue or everybody's problem, but I noticed that very quickly in my first month on Mounjaro. Your body is trying to get back to where it's supposed to be. So as soon as you can, you have that quiet mind already, what you can also work on is trying to reduce the amount of sugar you get, reduce the amount of processed carbs, and start giving your body the protein that it wants, the veggies, the fruits that it wants, and then you can give it carbs. It has nothing to do with not having carbs. You just have to give your body what it needs. If you struggle with dizziness, it could be that your glucose levels may be dropping too low. That is why I wear a continuous glucose monitor. And I know it isn't for everybody. I know a lot of people, maybe it's not a good idea for them for whatever reason, but I personally wear it because my glucose levels do drop. What we're finding out is I may be more on the hypoglycemic end now. And so now when my levels are controlled on my own with this medication, now that I got that crap food out of my life, my levels like to be lower. But sometimes if I don't get enough protein or sugar in naturally, I dip pretty low. Yes, nutrient dense foods, yes. I will show you guys what I do. We'll grab one of these. Like I said, my blood sugar drops every once in a while. 54. That's usually what it dips to when I'm like feeling dizzy, when I feel like I'm getting a headache. It dips down to like 54. On a regular basis, it's around 70. Let's just, like right now it's 78. But do you see it dips down in the red? Let me show you daily graphs. Yesterday it dipped pretty low. I was having a bad day. It dipped really low that day. Low again. So what I use this glucose monitor for is to remind me to eat. So because when I feel like my blood sugar is dipping, when I do see that it's dipping, these are what I go to. I have a lot of food allergies, so please bear with me. So I drink these. They're high protein and they have 7 grams of sugar. These have never made my glucose levels spike like over 90. These always make me like get balanced out when I'm low around 50. This helps me get back up to 70 and like feel normal. Yes. These do not have milk in them. They are lactose free. I don't know if that's what you're saying. Yeah. Fairlife is the brand of milk that we usually get anyways. And then when I found out they have shakes, I was like, yes. That saved the day for me. Yeah, so these are lactose free and gluten free. That's why I get them. All right. So the potatoes and the sauce take quite a bit of time. So we have this on medium heat and we're just gonna stir it periodically and then we'll keep hanging out and talking. Things that I've noticed since controlling my glucose levels is that, of course, I've dropped quite a few pounds and that's been amazing. But my digestive system, I'm able to go to the restroom every day and have a bowel movement. Before, I was going once or twice a week. Pre-Mounjaro journey, I was having headaches all the time. I was having stomach pains all the time. I was napping 1 to 2 times a day. Nearly after every time I ate, I would go sleep. I would never leave the house by myself, meaning I would not go do errands alone. I would have to be with my mom or Ryan because at some point I knew I would feel like I couldn't keep my eyes open. That was the big one. I would get very lethargic, like to the point where I didn't think I could drive home. I wouldn't feel like I could be out in public, or like it would get pretty bad. And during that time, I would always go do things with my mom or I wouldn't leave the house. Or Ryan would take me somewhere. So I feel like I have a lot of freedom now. Like I can get in my car and leave without, having this ability to like feel like I'm going to get sick. this journey has changed so much for me. I think this is dying. Okay, there. Yes, fatigue is probably the worst thing that I experienced before this journey. Is I was constantly tired. I was always tired, always down for a nap. I mean, a certified napper. Like I napped all the time. And it was overwhelming because I felt like I couldn't do anything. Although I still managed to do quite a bit in my life between my job and helping run a restaurant. I still have a lot going on. I just was always wore out. Yes, Myra, I would always, not necessarily dizzy spells, but I would like, all of a sudden it would hit me like a ton of bricks and I would feel like I was going to pass out, like I needed to eat. Like that's what I constantly said, like to my mom. I felt like I needed to eat or I was going to die if I didn't eat. And, you know, now learning about my body, starting this medication, I know now that those moments that I was experiencing like that were my glucose levels dropping. I wish I knew before. Yeah, I'm really happy that I'm connecting with you guys and we can relate on some of these things. So that makes me very happy. Although it sucks that we've had to like go through these issues and we face these like awful things. I know I'm not alone, and that's why I continue to share this story. So being 35 and not being able to, you know, leave the house on my own, I wouldn't go to the grocery store. The grocery store is literally a mile from my house. It's just right at the next light. And I would not go because I knew I would start feeling icky, and I hated that. I love going out and running errands. I love going with my mom and going shopping and doing all of that. I just never wanted to go by myself, and I never wanted to drive. I'd always have somebody come pick me up because it just, I knew something wasn't going to feel good. So prior to, oops. Sorry guys, this is boiling up already. Prior to starting this journey, this is how I like feel about like, maybe I was diabetic or there was something, a metabolic issue going on because I would keep candy everywhere. Sugar Patch, those big family sized bags of Sour Patch Kids everywhere. My car, my mom's car, at our restaurant, here in my office at work, they were everywhere. And it was because at some point in time, I would feel like I would have to eat some sort of sugar or I was going to crash. Now, I should have known and put two and two together, but I'm not diabetic. I didn't know. I just thought I was craving sugar and didn't know what my body was trying to do. But my body was probably dipping low in sugar, and that's what I would grab for. And, you know, looking back on it now, I just want to smack myself. But I didn't know. I wasn't educated. I didn't know. So when you're craving those types of things of sugar or soda or bread, it's because you're either your blood sugar is dropping or your blood sugar is already high and it's creating those food-seeking behaviors. And it's just been so helpful to be knowledgeable and like aware of what that is, rather than thinking that there's something wrong with me and then I'm just like this fat ass that just likes to eat candy, or I'm just this fat ass that just like has an addiction with food or can't control herself. Like that's what I felt like. I felt like there was something wrong with me because I would have to eat a second meal after literally every meal I ate. I had to eat again because I would feel so hungry 30 minutes after eating. And it was because I wasn't giving my body the protein to process anything that I was eating, to use it for fuel. So it was just spiking and dropping. Yeah. Years. Oh, wow. So yeah, I don't know, like, I'm really disappointed that the healthcare system that I've been in failed to ever test my A1C. I'm very disappointed in that. I am really disappointed that no doctor, when I look back at the pictures from even just the summer or even, all the ones from starting this journey, I'm very disappointed because I can see now how swollen I was. I can see that was inflammation. That wasn't just me being chunky. That was inflammation. There was clearly something going on there. This is, I think, a little bit different than other people's journeys that you may see here on TikTok. I never felt uncomfortable in my skin. I never felt uncomfortable with my curves. I never felt like that defined my self-worth. What I was on a journey to do is stop being sick. I don't care what that scale looks like in the end. Like whenever that end point is, I don't know what that number on the scale is going to be, and I'm not shooting for a number on the scale. I'm shooting to be able to have a healthy pregnancy this year. I am shooting to live a long, healthy marriage with Ryan. I'm shooting to reduce the number of doctor's appointments that I have. I'm shooting to reduce the amount of shitty days that I have because I don't feel good. It's not about that number on the scale, although it's great. Yeah, it's really exciting seeing those numbers go down and seeing my body change. That never defined me though. Like I've never felt insecure or not comfortable in my body. And I think that's why it went on for so long, is that I never saw it as a problem for me. Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. And I see these, everybody sharing their stories, and I'm so happy to see them. And I'm so happy that I even saw them to begin with, because I found Mounjaro on TikTok. And I did feel, I did do my own research. I did, dig into this myself before I even started it. And I didn't start it to lose weight, but I am definitely grateful that my body is getting in a healthier position than it was before. So if you guys could take anything from watching my live tonight and these Sunday stories, I just encourage you guys to share more of the health benefits that you're getting from your journey than just the weight loss. I think we get lost in that a lot, of not sharing that side of it. And I think the more we continue to share the health benefits that we have from being on these journeys, that'll help the stigma of treating obesity with medication out in social media and in the media in general. Oh, hey. Oh, yes, Triss, I'm so happy for you. Oh, hi. My mom's on here, guys. I'm trying to cook the sauce. Ryan's laying down with a headache, so I've got it going. The potatoes are in the oven, and we are reducing the sauce. Oh, yay. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, my mom probably missed this part. Mom, I was telling them about how when we were out running errands, I would feel like I was going to die at some point, and that it would hit me like a brick wall before this journey of either needing sugar or feeling like I was going to pass out, feeling like I needed to lay down, of how awful it was to constantly not feel good. Between my mom and Ryan, they're my biggest supporters. Very happy to have both of them in my life. It hasn't been easy. I'm excited. Thank you so much for the follows. I'm excited to go this Friday. I know it sounds scary,
of doing the bone marrow biopsy this Friday. But I think I'm going to get answers from it. Don't know if they're going to be good answers or bad answers, but I think we're going to get answers, and that's all that matters. Now, I am prepared to move forward with whatever the answers are. I don't think they are going to be like very like overwhelming. Like, I don't think that there's any risk for any additional cancers or anything like that. I think it's either going to be a blood disorder, a hereditary trait, or an autoimmune disorder. Yes. So, Mom, that's what we talk about quite often, is how obesity is a chronic disease, and that's why it needs to be treated. So this is like the second 60-minute segment. Unless it's the first, maybe it might have been a repeat of the one that aired last week or the week before. I don't know if, Mom, if you were watching, if it said that it was like new or if it was a repeat. Yeah, that's what I thought. It might be a repeat of the one that we just watched. Yeah, I mean, we do. Like, that was another thing. Like, all of these health conditions, I've had so many testing done. I've had so many doctor's appointments throughout the last 5 years. I had so many doctor's appointments that I had to start bringing my work computer with me. And then people started asking me if I worked at the doctor's office, because I was constantly there with my work computer. And they asked if I worked there because I was there so much. So between so many appointments and then testing and procedures, it's just like, how could they not see that it's a metabolic issue? Yes, a lot of insurance companies, what are they called? Formulary plans did change. My new plan covers Mounjaro, but I do need a prior authorization, and the prior authorization does not require me to be type 2 diabetic. I asked about that. So I'm currently using a telehealth provider, and they will only do prior authorizations for type 2 diabetics. So I'm not really upset about that. That just means that you have to confirm you're type 2 diabetic for them to process the prior auth. They're not going to do the legwork to make a claim on your behalf of why you need this medication. I totally get that. They have a lot of patients. That's just like an overload for them if they were to accept and do that. One thing I did not know is that you can submit your own prior auth. You can do it on behalf of yourself. You do not need a doctor to submit your prior authorization. You can do it yourself. So in good Cecilia fashion, I'm going to do it. And what I am going to do, or at least my strategic plan, is to provide evidence from prior year blood work that no A1C testing has ever been done. My glucose levels were over 180 and sometimes up to 230 at times. And although testing was never done, those are signs of prediabetes and type 2 diabetes, and that I would like this medication to continue to be covered. Hello, how are you? I am going to put more information about the SURMAT trial, talking about the Mounjaro testing trials and how they worked. And I'm gonna try to get it covered on my own. The insurance company was really helpful in giving me the information that they need. They just need a back information. I think everything will go fine, but I'm definitely going to add all that since looking back at my blood work since 2007, no testing had been done. So that's what we're doing today. We got this garlic cream sauce. It's almost reduced pretty good. I need to get the Parmesan out and all of the seasoning. I'm going to put it on low. I'm not good at seasoning this, so I will let Ryan do it when he gets up. I think that's all. If you guys are here, new here, and you are on a journey to regain your health, I would love for you to be a guest on my Sunday stories. This week I've been sharing my story, how I've got here, what I'm doing, what I'm working on. I would love for you guys to share your story with me. If you click the link right in my bio, my little link that's in my profile, that brings up my link tree, and the first little tab, it says be my guest. I would love for you guys to come on here and be a guest here on my live, and tell me your story, tell me your struggles, tell me your journey, and let me in on what you guys are facing and what you're struggling with, so I can educate myself and other people can, relate. We're doing it every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I have all the links or all the dates for January in there. After today, I'll load February dates. So if you want to go in, sign up. It's just a few questions. Just ask for your name, your TikTok handle. Oh no, some comments were filtered. Your TikTok handle and what date you want to be a guest on. So just click the link and get that going, and I would love for you guys to be on here. I think I have people for the rest of the month, but we can have more than one person on each day. That's not a problem, and we'll go through and we'll tell our stories. I'm going to wrap this evening's Sunday story up with a couple things of what I'm doing for moving forward. Oh, yeah. Myra, if you would like to be a guest and ask questions, I would love that too. So I would love for people who are just starting this journey, haven't started a journey yet, are doing different things, whether you had weight loss surgery or you're on a different medication than I am, or if you've just used diet and exercise and you've seen success with it. Share your story with us so we can learn about what's worked for you, so it may work for somebody else. I'll wrap tonight's live up with this. Moving forward, this is also not to brag or anything. Please don't take it as that, but I have 4 months of 12.5 injections to be able to take. I currently space my medication out 10 days apart instead of doing them weekly, and that will take me till the second week of June. Right now, my ultimate plan is to get to, of course, till June, but I see my primary care doctor, which is now the weight doc here on TikTok, Dr. Jenna. I see her the first week of April. She's super hard to get into, so we won't be seeing her until April. But at that point in time, I'm hoping, I don't know what the number is going to look like on the scale, but I hope at that point in time, we can determine whether I'll need this long term. There is a different medication that I can use for maintenance, or if we can come off of it and be able to maintain. The goal here for me in my journey is to be healthy enough to potentially carry a pregnancy this year, and then get married. The married part is first, for me at least. Get married first, and then have a long, healthy relationship with Ryan, and then also have a healthy pregnancy. At 277 pounds, that is not healthy in my situation. I have too many other health conditions that would have not been good for me in my journey. So I would love to figure out, thank you. I would love to figure out if I need to be on this medication long term, or some sort of glucose control medication, whatever that looks like, and being able to maintain this on my own. That's what I'm looking for moving forward, and seeing what that looks like when I meet with Dr. Jenna in April. Ryan is also going to be meeting with her. We're both moving over to her in her practice. She is a local doctor here in our town, so we're really excited about that. And you know, that's what my journey looks like moving forward. I was very fortunate that my pharmacist worked very hard to get me a 90-day supply. And then she's very diligent about like using as much as I can of this coupon. She'll order different doses for me. She ordered 10, she ordered 12, we're ordering 15 now. She wants to make sure that I get whatever I can off of this coupon as fast as I can. And I'm forever grateful that I found her. And I found her because my Walmart stopped processing it for me. So there's people out in the world that wanna help you. We just gotta find them. Thank you so much for listening to my story tonight. We're going to wrap up. It's almost 7. Moving forward, I have saved a 2-hour slot for our guests to share their stories. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my story. I hope you enjoy following me here on this channel and that you can come watch my videos, be educated, and also ask questions. I am so open to answering questions. I am not a closed book. I'm pretty open and I like to share things. So if you have any questions along the way, feel free to message me. I also have a Facebook group linked in my bio. It's nothing crazy. Most of it is just me sharing inspirational quotes. But it's an easy way where you could reach out to me or any of our other followers and ask questions, or you're able to message me directly here on TikTok as well. But I really appreciate you guys listening to my story and tuning in for Sunday Stories. Tune in next week. We do have a guest speaker. I believe Shauna is for next week. And I'm excited to have her and hear her story. And it'll be at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And hopefully later in this week, if Ryan's feeling up to it, we can get Ryan on here and, you know, talk about how our relationship has been impacted and then how changing our food and modifying our meals has impacted him as well. That's really what we were going to touch on tonight. But, oh, thank you so much. But he's not feeling good. He's down with a headache still. So hopefully I can get him up to finish the sauce though. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will catch you guys next Sunday. Thanks.